we'll hear music to start with. Give me a sec. How about this?
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh.
So what happened is that I'm not expecting a lot of people to join me this afternoon, but some of you are going to see the broadcast later. First, let me check my audio because I want to, my usual talk like arty talk, the one that actually kind of hit you directly, put you in the middle of it. If you're watching me from Nigeria, even if you are not watching me from Nigeria, this message is also going to also help you. I mean, it's going to hit you as well. I don't know how far my voice is to my device. So you can tell me if you like the audio, then I will continue. Just a moment. I'm going to check. It's one of those things I'm trying to like test run, where everything is not like so kind of certain stuff. We used to do Maiyegun General political, just from anywhere. Sorry if I look nonchalant to you. I'm just waiting for our friends to join, for those who are still going to join us, okay? So as for you who are already joining, share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite even your not so friendly friends and tell them that Maiyegun is live. I want to talk to you as a young person today. Because most of the time when people say, or somebody actually told me that, he said that educated people, or supposed educated people, they campaign for the criminals and rogue politicians. So then they blame the illiterate for electing criminals. So I want to talk about that. See, let me fix my camera. I'm trying to find my spot. Put me on the side. All right, I think this is my spot. Right. So share the broadcast. Let me know what the audio feels like as you are watching. But trust me, this is going to be one of your best chatting moments with Maiyegun if you ever caught this live in a way. But let me know how the audio is, how the video is. So let me add this so that you can know it is new. So bear with me. Audio perfect, video perfect. Oyamo will start on. You see, they say the educated ones, I want to talk to you as a young person now, okay? If you are a young person between the ages of, 20 and 40, because we're never too old, though, because I'm also going to be talking to myself, including those in my age bracket. So if you figure out that you fall into that demography, right, please take a listen. Every time you want to talk about Nigeria issue, right, mostly as it affects the young people. You see, every time they talk about unemployment, talk about some of this depravity, poverty, and the rest of that, the people who actually share the largest chunk of that, consequences are the young people. You, me, most of us, we don't get, we don't get second name. That is Tifnumbu or Basanjo or any other funny names like that, yeah? So we share the burden of everything that happens to Nigeria. And most of the time, we're also those dragged to maintain the status quo of the criminals who brought this upon you. So when you start talking about what Nigeria has done to you, and you say, man, Baba, Nigeria, I suffer. You will see the other young person, because they tend to make suffering like a competition. So when you say you have seen hell, the next Nigerian to you, right, is going to tell you that yours is better, like it is a competition. But do you, as a young person, even understand that Nigeria? If I just call out your age just now, right? Between the ages of 20 and 40. Do you even understand that Nigeria, or you just believe what your parents told you? Or you allowed Nigeria to condition you to what you are now? Do you really understand that country at all as a young person? If you do, if you think you do, great. If you think you don't, great. For those who do and for those who don't, here is what you should know as a young person in Nigeria. All right? You are the largest percentage. In fact, let me put it this way: the population of Nigeria that they are, flaunting about, that 200 million, right? Your demography alone controls more than 70% of that population. I'm not very good in mathematics, right? But you can tell 70% of 200 million, that should be somewhere around 140 million. That is your demography, the number. And young people are considered the strength of a country, but not in Nigeria, because that strength in that number is completely misplaced, because the average Nigerian youth doesn't even actually know that country called Nigeria. Now, despite your vantage position and much more like a supposed blessing to you as a young person in Nigeria, it has become a curse. And that may not completely be your making. So that's why I said, do you understand that Nigeria, or what your parents and every other person you come across in your life told you about Nigeria, or you found out later that you actually know nothing about that Nigeria? Because a country that has no plan for our young citizens or young population is a country that has plan to fail. And that is exactly what Nigeria is. And when Nigeria has become a failed country, do you know the symbol of that failure? The young people. While the old criminals who brought us to this level continue still to point fingers at how ridiculous some of you are, because you have no clue. I'll tell you this. You see those those old men you see today, all those Buhari, Obasanjo, and the rest of them, all those guys, when they were in our age, they were completely impatient because they understood what Nigeria was. How did that happen? When they were young, the Nigeria they ventured into was a Nigeria with identity. Somebody from the northern Nigeria comes with his own identity. When he's joining the military, He knows why he's joining the military. When a southern, when a western Yoruba man is joining the military or any other thing there, he knows why he's joining. He's joining as a Yoruba. He has he had an identity until 1966. But guess what? It all started from 1960, January 1966. Meanwhile, before then, these guys who were in their 20s, 30s, they had access to gun. And in their own mind, they said the politicians of the First Republic, that they were going to mortgage because of their political infighting and the rest of that. These men who are now old hag, who have now completely destroyed Nigeria, your Nigeria, they were impatient. They feared that the politicians of the First Republic were going to mortgage the future, their future. So in their own mind, they had to end it. They started coup. That was when the massacre, the bloodbath, the mass killing started. Young people who are now today deciding what your future, my future will be before they go into their graves. But they succeeded in one thing, right? They ensure that one, as people generally agreed, right? History is completely expunged from history. It's completely removed from history. From your classrooms. History. So that the criminals who committed the worst of the worst crimes against this, especially this generation, and those ones that are coming after us, you will see them as heroes and not as criminals that they were. They were impatient. But again, if there's anything to learn from that, it is to see the value of understanding the country that you probably would die for if you indeed love the country. Nigeria, there is no Nigerian genuinely willingly die for Nigeria. Nigerians are being slaughtered by terrorists. Criminals in power are saying the sacrifices paid by the Nigerian scheme. Those are not sacrifices paid by them. They didn't pay the prices. Their lives were taken away from them. Now, those who did that are today being championed, promoted, defended by the young people who actually have no clue where Nigeria is going to. Your destiny should be in your hands as a young person, but it's in their hands. It is. When they talk about the numbers of jobless people in the population, they said you are about 80 million jobless people. Did you know that if you share that by what it should be shared as, right? It simply means you watching me right now, even though if you have a job, you think you do have a job right now, yeah? Out of 10 people, right? Only 2 people, 8 are without jobs. Only 2 people with jobs, and there is no guarantee that they will hold that job for long. Now that is your future, your existence threatened. Some of you are not bothered because you have no idea how much this is doing to you or what it has done. Joblessness is a very, very big and concerning thing. First, education. Look at ourselves. Okay, I'm a young person, all right, which means I experienced what I am sharing with you, even if you are just experiencing yours or you've also experienced it. And then logically, this will now make sense to you, okay? The type of education they give to us is never the type of education that actually empowers us or makes us grow as a people. Take that. Then the education sector itself, which you all know is in complete rubbish, like, do you know what I mean? And every year, your schools continue to churn out and churn, and then a graduate unemployable young Nigerians that won't be useful to themselves, they won't be useful to their communities, and they will never be useful to their countries. And if they look around and find nothing to do, they can just jump into politics and become a burden on their own people. That's exactly what the education sector in Nigeria actually do. It's obvious. It is now well educated you are and how successful you're going to be. Nigeria is a good example of that. And yeah, so they destroyed education. They destroyed everything that could make you think independently. Then they embedded in us this how do I put this? I want to find the right word for it. They embedded in us this pseudo respect of a thing where they make us stop being logical thinkers, people who can really think out of their problems. They can't think solutions out of their problems. Rather, they would rather pray. They deliberately made us that. Don't ask questions. Education allows you to seek knowledge. And seeking knowledge means that you're going to be asking questions. So not only that they took that away, they also destroyed every other means of getting educated and being rational thinkers by telling you to shut up. You know what I'm talking about as a young person. You can't question those elderly liars, bunch of incompetent misfits because they are older than you. You cannot question your lecturer when he or she is saying anything that is completely bollock, rubbish. You are going to be considered a rebel. Some Nigerians who have studied there were young Nigerians who have studied there abroad. They were shocked that they could engage or disagree with their lecturer in the classroom. And then nothing happens. Nigeria, you won't. They demoralize you before you even hit the society. They destroy you, you know. They destroy your self-confidence. They make you become a sycophant. They build sycophants, not thinkers, where you can't ask questions. Same mentality gets to when you now get into your whatever office or wherever you find yourself. You are expected to keep everything to yourself, especially if it is going to criticize somebody above you. Right from our childhood, they made us that. And if you are the type who never want to be like that, always asking questions, always talking, they will say, don't be that boy, don't befriend that boy. He's going to be a rebel. That is the kind of society they built. That is where you grew up. And that's also contributed into why some of you easily just give up. Because you can't think. You can't look around and be like, they said over 40% of Nigerians are unemployed. If the population of Nigeria is 200 million and 75% of them are young people between the ages of 0 and 40, what does that tell you? It means that the young people are the most jobless. And once you are jobless, how can you become hungry? An hungry man is an angry man. And the politicians, who knows your numbers anyway, then they come to your rescue whenever there is an election. Think about that. You can't reason that way because you are not made to reason. You are not built to reason. If you ask questions, you are considered arrogant. Oh, you are becoming arrogant. Yo, Mr. Tuno, you think you know everything? They demoralize you. They bully you into silence. And in fact, the quieter you are, the more kind of respectful they consider you. That is part of the education they put into you. And that is why today you will see people, young people, who are the victims of a rotten, destroyed system. Young people who are daily victims of this poverty we are talking about. They stand up and they fight themselves, defending the criminals that brought them to this level. And they shout Allah, they shout Jesus, they shout God, they shout every other imaginary saviors that they put up there to come to their rescue. Then when the time comes for them to make that decision, they can't think. So I'm talking to you as a young person. Some of you don't understand your Nigeria. And since you don't, you are going to always deal with whatever is given to you. And as much as that is it, yeah, you are always going to get the same result. Do you always want to get the same result? Now, I said something earlier. I said Nigeria has gotten to a stage whereby the economy is in tatters, right? Now, there is nobody that is going to come in and turn that around in the next 10 years. Let me give you an example of what can turn that around, which you will agree with me that it is impossible. That is, if somebody comes in and you see all of these rogues, yeah, get a court injunction or whatever it is and round them up all at once, including Bokwari, lock them up and make some of them face a firing squad, jail those that you will jail, and let some of them die by, by the electric shear and the rest of that. Take over, take everything they've stolen, the home and abroad, and just give them that China treatment. Something that says, if we do this again, you are going to die with your entire family, that you use that money to, you know what I mean? But that is not possible. That's why I said, now that your future is trapped into impossible, what do you do? What should you do? I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, we can start looking at ourselves now and be like, okay, Maiyegun, we don't know. Because you can't think. That means you agree with me that it is difficult for an average Nigerian to think their way out of anything. But it is convenient if you tell a young Nigerian that Tinubu is going to be Tinubu is better than Buhari. Same way they told them that Buhari is better than Jonathan. And like a spark, an average Nigerian will be like, that's true. That's true. He can't think. And they have also done something as well to make an average young Nigerian. I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Don't worry. I'm not going to confuse you too much. They have made you somebody who can really think other than when they think for them. Somebody who can choose until they choose for them. But I ask you, since they have been literally choosing for you, what has been the result? Poverty, poverty, and more poverty. So you have young people who had access to guns in 1966, and they decided, according to them, to take their destinies into their own hands because they could never keep up with those they call the First Republic politicians who were mortgaging their future. But today, as a young Nigerian, maybe you don't have access to gun as a military. Maybe you don't have access to, what else? Airplane and the fighter jet and the rest of that. But if you have access to your brains, do you know that jumping up and down to promote an election of the same criminals who brought you to this state is not smart? No, it is not. It is not, because they have made you realize that you have no option. Because psychologically or mentally, somehow, something tells you there is no way out of it. But you have 72% of the population, and it became so difficult for most of them who have been trapped in that poverty line to agree that until you do it differently. Somebody said that, what about a revolution? I said, you can't have a physical revolution without a mental revolution. An average young Nigerian doesn't even know why you want him to have a revolution. Even though when they live within the reasons, the whys. You are going to be more poorer this year. I don't know if they have told you. You are going to be more poorer. You are going to be poorer this year. No, because, and there is no amount of I reject it, that will reject it for you. If you are smart enough, maybe you can dodge a bullet. But let me tell you something. About 8 million Nigerians were considered to be very, very poor. 13.5 million Nigerians were considered poor in 2015. In 7 years, that number jumped to over 80 million. Some said it's over 120 million. Now, they said 86 million of you are living in extreme poverty. Do you know what that means? It simply means people who are living for the living sake. I mean, when people they don't care about clothes, they don't care about anything. They just care about what to eat. What are they going to eat? What are they going to feed their family? Extreme poverty. People who live just on a meal a day, or sometimes no meal at all. They are in their tens of millions, 86 million, they call them. And they said the abject poverty there is 126 million people. 126 million people living in abject poverty in Nigeria. Do you think I don't know who I'm talking to? Even if you are living in denial, watching me right now, pretending that you have a coping mentality, you have a coping mechanism. You are going to be poorer this year. You are going to lose a lot of money this year in your businesses. Some are going to make money, of course, but that is not what should be your own saving grace or something like your consolation as a young person in a working country to start with. Yeah? When you have a jobless youth, that automatically should tell you that you are sitting on a keg of gunpowder. Let me give you an example for you to know the extreme poverty in Nigeria now. The crime level has increased, you know that. Every little spark of violence anywhere or any street disruption, people will try to break into shops and start looting. Because everyone walking past every shop is, many of those you see walking past every shop there, yeah, is suffering from one thing, Nigeria. And they are looking, and that is why somehow you look at everybody, if you have not noticed, right? Including even those who claim to be working. Imagine policemen and the rest of them. They all look for opportunity to rob one another. It is like the survival of the fittest, when you go to war zone, yeah, when you go to war zone and people have been killed, before you get killed, you see those who are dead, yeah, you're likely going to have to take their boots, take their water bottle, take their last kind of beans and the rest of that. And if you die, somebody else will grab yours. It is what it is now in Nigeria. How did you get there? Because the criminals who push you there, they're having a laugh. Why the rest of you are now asking yourself, who should be the president? Who should be the next president? Who should not be the next president? They don't care. When you have that number of unemployed people, you should know you are dealing with an internal war that will consume Nigeria. It is just a matter of time. So they don't care. And every time you give them for 4 years, what you are doing is that you are extending your sufferings. Whatever they give to you is temporary. You have the number. You do have the number. You can make it change. You can stop them. I mean, I keep saying that all the time because I just feel like, if I feel like, people you probably will believe when they say, sit there and you sit and all that stuff, right? You have the number. And every time you think you have figured it out, and it's a shame, right? It's actually a shame, by the way, on the side, that I am talking to these friends of mine, wherever you're watching from, Nigeria or outside Nigeria, wherever. I'm talking to you right now. I don't even know you. But somehow, 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 10 people would likely be connected to what I'm saying right now, how Nigeria has taken so much away from you. But because you have no clue, some of you don't, right? Have a clue how you even got here. You just follow the bandwagon, the old general convo. Oh, our politicians are thieves. They've stolen all the money and the rest of that. You are not thinking straight if you are also believing that you can participate in an election called validation. That's what you do. When you validate them for another 4 years, you are going to suffer it for another 4 years. Man, 45 million people unemployed. That's massive. 45 million. That is massive. That should be something that should have, imagine if 10 million of you are jobless right now. If I have the number, let's say 10 million of you decided that we need a job. The politicians themselves will know that their days are numbered. Now, you see all those of you who are now those jobless ones, some of you have been recruited into APC, young people, PDP, Papa Deceive Peking, yeah? They have recruited you into different, in fact, you wanted to be recruited. Unfortunately. Everybody is taking his turn, like your old criminal leaders. Some of you want to be like them. You are not really different from them. But you see, those of you I'm talking to, who are the victims, all of you. Those of you who are like you new graduates. Is this the Nigeria they told you? Some of you graduated 2-3 years ago, even though some of you are unemployable. What some of you decide to go and get or study in school, right, cannot get you a job in McDonald's, you know that. But because it is Nigeria, the quack stuff and the rest of that, now it's been 3 years. For those of you who even did good stuff, right? It's been 3 years, 2 years, unemployed. You see your other brothers, uncles out there, 5 years, 10 years, unemployed. Or they used to be employed. And now when they count the number, when they say over 40 million people unemployed, and you go out there and you say, bring the evidence. I say, but you don't get job now. Why you they ask me if I should bring evidence? Or do you think working as a PA to a councillor in your local government, or working as a vuvuzela for politicians on social media, that is a job? That's not a job. And many of you fall into that category. Yeah? You are revalidating your enslavement. And before you know it, oh boy, you don't grow old. I figured that out just recently when I realized that I'm going to be 38 years old in the next 2 weeks or so, or 3 weeks. Yeah. Then I look back and I'm like, oh boy, that's 22 years ago. I was just about a 16-year-old boy or 15-year-old boy, a teenager like some of you who probably will see my video, or your children. 22 years would have been stolen away from my life. Except if I decide to join their politics in Nigeria, maybe that would probably be my saving grace. Now, some of you are doing that same thing right now, and you call it a job. You see, every time you go out there to promote these criminals, every time you go out there to ram it down the throat of your friends and your not so friendly friends on social media as a young person, pushing all the narratives that leads to one place: poverty, death, and yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Every time you push that and you think you have a job, you are pushing millions of your fellow young people into further poverty. But that may not even be your own fault, because the millions that you're going to push into further poverty, some of them are already, they are willing to, they want to be pushed into that poverty. And you are being paid to do that. But I'm the one who will tell you that there will be consequences of all that. Indeed, consequences include that your Naira that crashed will continue to. The subsidy they claim to remove, some of you should not relax too well, okay? The subsidy they claim to have removed will then kick in soon. And this joblessness of a thing is just about to take a new dimension. Now, being the poverty capital of the world, and you as a young people, when do you think
this is going to end for you? Or how do you think this is going to end? Now, listen, again, if you are between 20 and 40 and you are living in Nigeria, it is better for you to know it now. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. There is no future for you in Nigeria, and there is a reason why. Now, having a future also has to do with your environment. It does help and influence. The current atmosphere you have in Nigeria, which is not just about the government, including the polity itself, it's built to work against you. And if you don't believe me, how old are you now? And then where are you now when it comes to the economic ladder in your country? I've given you a few statistics that I could give to you to let you know where you actually belong to. And if you are still kind of in school and you're still getting all the free money, people are still squeezing out their savings for you, pay up this and that for you. And in your own opinion, it is in your own best interest to defend Nigeria for the criminals who will take you nowhere but the gulag. Just wait for it. There's something called Turn by Turn Nigeria Limited. Turn by Turn Nigeria Limited means that everybody is going to have a bite of what Nigeria is. Some of us have been having it all our lives, and we developed what is called the coping, kind of a coping mentality or some coping mechanism. Something that many of you believe that you can still use. You see, there is no future there. Look at it very well. And before you know it, that your 22 years old, that your 30-year-old age is going to jump to 50. And then you realize what Nigeria has stolen from you. Wealth redistribution starts from the policy of government that can utilize the massive number of young people in their country. In Nigeria, what you use your number for is for the brag of election, especially northern Nigeria, where people brag about how much people they have to vote, but they have no much people to work, pay tax, and then get up the economy ladder. So if I am going to advise you, which I do all the time, because I can't tell you what to do. Some people will tell me, are you going to be able to tell us what we're going to do? You are a young person, okay? No matter what they fed you, no matter how they fed them to you, Nigeria is not for you. Not this Nigeria, okay? Even if you are conditioned to believe that it is impossible to end this kind of barbarity, I am saying it to you now, that you have the number in that age bracket. Yes, you have that number, and it doesn't even take all of the 70 million of you. It doesn't take, it doesn't even require the northern youth who probably won't participate, and if they do, it's going to be a plus. But you see the number of you in walking around in southern Nigeria, wasting your time trying to defend the politicians who gives no damn about you. 22 years, let's use our own region, for example. I'm a Yoruba man. And if you're a Yoruba man or woman watching me right now, a young person, okay, when they talk about unemployment, when they talk about this joblessness and insecurity, joblessness in particular, which affects you, yeah, we have our own largest share of that. And the share of that is that we are most people who want to go to school. Yeah, our parents invest a lot, and they were like, oh yeah, you know, many of you were sent to school by your poor parents with the expectation that you're going to turn out good enough, that you'll be able to fend for yourself, and you also be able to possibly take care of them when they are old, right? Now, look at you. After all that, your energy is being, it's been spent in promoting those who have made you jobless until you became a political vuvuzela. Do you get what I mean now? Now, that is a change of fortune for you. A change of fortune that should call your common sense to order. I know hungry people don't have sense. If I'm hungry, my sense won't really work well, because until I feed myself or eat something, which is the category that majority of you fall into in that place. But think about it. Your poor parents sent you there to be able to fend for themselves, and then the system denied you the opportunity. The system denied you the chance to showcase your capacity, your level of understanding of how to possibly contribute to the society. Rather, the system finally, when they found probably you are a good manipulator that can be paid with crumb, you took up the job to deceive others in order to lead them into further poverty. And unfortunately, some of you do that by even using God. I have seen young people defending criminal politicians, promoting criminal politicians for their own selfish interest, by the way, right? And they have used God. God has ordained him. Any man that tried this and that will just die. And that's another angle where you get to know that majority of Nigerians are fraudulent religious people. They are not religious. They don't have any religion. If they shout God, 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 don't listen to them. Okay? Some of them, they are more godly than the God. Majority of them are gatekeeper of hell. These are part of the schizophrenic symptoms that you can sense in Nigerians. When you see them talking and they are bragging about God and mixing God with politicians, you can tell. All right. So Nigerians does that. I've seen that young people using God to confirm their fantasies of the same criminals who actually know God. You know what I mean? So you who found yourself in that part, or who falls for that, it comes to the same thing. That number one, you don't even know your country. You don't know that Nigeria. And then number two, you don't know what you want. Some of you, what you want is the easy life. Easy. You can have that too. Easy. If you have an easy country with an easy system that actually cares for you, that you can have. But you can't wish for it, and you can't by any means cut corners, which is what most Nigerians want to do. You are a young person. I'm speaking directly to you now. I'm not speaking to those old people, okay? Leave those ones. We have our time that we gist about other things. I'm talking to you. If you sit down wherever you are, and you sit down and you're like, what do I want to do with my life? And you look around you and you can see that you have limited choices. And guess what? Nigeria, as people say, yeah, somewhere, people will be like, it's not about what your country can do for you. It's about what you can do for your country. Nigeria doesn't do anything for you, okay? In fact, Nigeria believes that you, being in Nigeria, being in that Nigeria, the politicians believe that that's enough. That's enough. You should be grateful that they don't kill you when you're inside the belly and the rest of that, okay? So there's no real plan for you. So as a young person, you should ask yourself, ask others, engage with others too. You need to know how they politically stole your destiny, I mean your future, right before your eyes. They stole your inheritance. That's what somebody said. This guy stole our inheritance. It should have been your inheritance. Wherever Nigeria is, should have been your inheritance, but they've taken away all the opportunities. And when your opportunities are stolen from you, yeah, it is the right thing to fight and take it back. You know that. But if you don't have the mental capacity to even reason it that way, why are you not getting the best of education? Why are you not having a real infrastructure in place? How come the police continue to brutalize? When they talk about police brutality, young people in Nigeria are the 99% of victims, but yet they cannot behead by any one of them without being shot and killed by the people who should be protecting them. So young people, you have the number, but you don't have the sense. Greed, selfishness. One of I was watching somebody discuss how young people, because they can't think, they don't understand how politics destroyed the future that they should be living now, and them contributing again for those that will be coming behind them, for the future those ones are going to meet as well. The future they should be living right now has been stolen away from them even before they were born, but they had no clue. So young people are now desperate to what? To be rich. They want to be rich like all these rich criminals. Young people going into money rituals because they can't think. When you discuss with them like, oh, listen, if you call them to discuss how politics has destroyed things for them, they'll probably think you are calling them to come and vote for somebody else, because that's all they know. They can't think. Because they can't think, they can't have reasonable political conversation. And you can sense that among adults too. But I'm talking to you as a young person. If you are just the only young person watching me right now, I am talking to you. Yes, you. If you don't have the mental capacity to understand how these criminals play the game, how they used every available tool to mitigate against your progress, against what should have been a normal welfare redistribution. What is welfare redistribution? Welfare redistribution is when you have reasonable people in government who understands that you can't have 90% of the bulk of the wealth of a country in the hands of the limited few, while the chunk and the rest of the country have to deal with the 1% of it, which will still be looted from them. Now, you can never run a country like that, right? So redistributing wealth, there are many ways to redistribute wealth, okay? But maybe that's not the only thing. I mean, that's not the one I want to talk about now. So they should create an environment that could possibly give you jobs, make you productive enough to also be job creator. You can also create jobs. And when you build an economy that is that kind of a micro connected, link together, right? It makes the country richer and it blessed everybody in the country. But that is if they are not even stealing what you are giving to them. And Nigeria, a deadbeat country that these criminals have ruined to the point that they don't want us to ask questions. You are a young person. Begin to ask questions. When you ask them questions, that is when you get to know that these guys have no plan. They have absolutely no real plan for anybody. But they will say anything. They will say everything to make you think they actually care when they don't. So you are a young person. You are, as a young person, you need to begin to develop the mentality of asking questions. Okay? You are not trained or you are not raised to ask questions, especially controversial questions. Don't see any questions as controversial. Start it. When your dad or your mom or your uncle or anyone in the area, they start talking about this year 2023 nonsense, ask them vital questions. Why do you think we should still be participating in an election when for 22 years, right, ordinary electricity, these guys couldn't deliver? Oh, that one is the fault of PDP. That one is the fault of ADC. That one is Bros, please, excuse me, please. Who is APC? Who is PDP? Stop using that here with us. Tell them, say it to their faces. Let them know you understand what is going on. Talk to your mates. Start political conversation with your mates. Let them understand. Because some of them don't have a clue. That Tinubu rich die. That Tinubu could be president. Nobody will fight that Tinubu. Young people who have no clue, who have no idea who Tinubu is. All they know is that, Jagaban, he's rich. Who won't try him? Who can contest with him? Who can do this and that? Because that's the damages they've done to you. Tinubu is a criminal. Are you listening? He is a criminal like the rest of those rogues in Nigeria, but the system protected him. It is only the system that can deal with him. And that's what they do. The system choose who they deal with. So are you No, I mean, are you not that smart to see that? Eh? But there's no court that convicted him. Oh, that's true. There's no court that convicted him. Right. Therefore, he didn't do it. Don't be as dumb as your uncles. Don't be as stupid as your aunties. Those are the excuses that they gave as the reason why they never challenged all those criminalities. They excused it away. Don't let them put that in your mouth. Those rogues are criminals. None of them can account for their wealth. Their wealth that you see them flaunting about, that is your wealth. That is your education. That is your road. That is your electricity. Those are your hospitals. Those are your homes that they should build for the poor people. Those are the things that should make life better for you rather than harder as they are now. Don't let anybody talk you out of that. These are a bunch of unproductive, jobless human beings before 1999. These are not rich guys. It's like somebody like me now, make a come join your politics, and suddenly I don't become billionaire. And some of you are saying, you don't know Maiyegun. Maiyegun is a billion. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not even a millionaire. These guys are average guys who came to rob you and now living off you, and you as a young person, because you have no clue. You have no idea. Jealousy, do you know if anybody become governor? Do you know how much money they will have? They are not supposed to have money. You listening? They are not supposed to have money the way they do. The salary of a councillor, a local government councillor, is 250,000 naira. The salary of a local government chairman in Nigeria is 450,000 naira. The salary of a local government chairman is 750,000 naira. The salary of a state house of assembly member is 450,000 naira. The salary of a state governor is 1.5 million naira. Deputy governor is 1.2 million naira salary in a month. The salary of your president, the overall president of Nigeria, is 3.5 million naira a month. Which of this money can buy them and build them mansion that they are buying all over the place? So don't be daft. When they tell you that they collect security votes, is that not a crime? Somebody who can take hundreds of millions of naira unaccounted for, and you are comfortable with that, regurgitating that, saying that to people. As a young person, that is a complete miseducation that we're talking about. You have been miseducated, misled to excuse away their fraud, and they stole it from you. These are not rich guys. These are a bunch of opportunists. But what they did to you is worse than what you can imagine. So be that young person who understands. Listen, you may not know the effects right away. When I started this almost 8 years ago, there was no live video. You can't do live video on social media then. Until 2015, 2016. And that was, well, that's been a while. I think that's been like about 6 years now. I knew. I started talking. People started noticing. Look, people will tell you, I have been listening to Maiyegun for the past 5 years. I've been following Maiyegun for the past 6 years. Be that person to your friends. Do it. Nobody needs to know. We will feel it. Education. They took it away from you, and then you see the rogues. They are always those who knows what you want. Have you ever asked yourself, what do you want? Your uncles, your aunties, or those ones older than you, they couldn't ask. They were not raised to ask questions. But I am telling you now, if you don't develop the habit of asking questions, hard questions that makes all these guys uncomfortable. Yes, say it to them. Daddy, you always talk about this Tinubu. But Daddy, look around you. Can you tell us any successful state in Yoruba land in the last 22 years that we can use as a model, including this Lagos that we are living in, sir? Because they said Tinubu is producing leaders. He is not producing leaders. He's producing criminals. We call them Ajele. When I was still in Nigeria, we called those people Tinubu was sending everywhere. We called them Ajele. Those are the people who work for colonial master. So they report back to the color body long. People despise them. I mean, I got involved in the local politics when I was in Odogbolu, by the way. People despise them. Go away, all of you. You know, it's actually not as what they say he is. But wherever they eventually got their way, they milk the people. They run them aground. Look at people for sure. You see civil servants, they beg for food. Civil servants, they beg, please help us. They have not paid us 2 years. Aregbe Mugbo didn't pay us. These are the Tinubu legacy. So tell your dad, daddy, in this entire Lagos, for our house, your house, yes, sir. Now, what we get? There's no real water in Lagos State. Could you call that a successful leadership? These are a bunch of rogues and opportunists. And until you address them and see them as that, you are likely never, ever going to stop believing them. And that's what I'm saying to you. You as a young person, they're going to lie to you. You are going to abuse me. Of course, your uncles, your fathers, your mothers, they abuse me. Shut up your mouth, this small boy, Maiyegun. But I don't want you to end up like them. Okay? They are done. We thank God for those who have repented, those who've seen the light, and those who have decided that their children will never end up like them. You, 20 years, 22 years. Democracy started there when they gave birth to you. That demonstration of grace has now made you a depressed young man. A depressed young man, young woman. And I'm saying it to you now that you contributed to that. And you will continue to contribute to that as long as you continue to defend the criminals who did that to you. Say it to your fathers. Say it to your mothers. Tell them enough. And you can be that change within the household. I just thought I should tell you. So when they talk about people, when people share their experience, their, man, this Nigeria don't tire me. No light, no job, no road, no school, no this, no that. Don't jump into it and start saying, Baba, your own is better. It is not a competition. If you are suffering what other people are suffering, the best thing is to work together and see how to end it. That is common sense. That is common sense. And don't fall for those who don't they suffer for mental problem, but those who don't they mad, like original one, because they say 80% of you in Nigeria, you are suffering from one mental problem or the other, but you won't know because you can still probably pretend that you are normal. Those ones where their madness don't enter, those ones are the ones who are now seeing visions for you. You see, mad person, they see vision. Mad person, they collect vision. Everybody can be mad together in a mad country. That's exactly what they have turned that place into. Take yourself out of that kind of occultic contraption. Think wise and think large. If you continue to do same thing again and again, you are going to be getting the same thing and again and again. So unfortunate. So those of us who are living outside Nigeria, you see, we do this, by the way, just for the posterity's sake. You do know that? Some of us don't live there. We'll probably never, ever get their Fulani terrorist stance on us. We'll never, ever have to use their hospitals, which they don't have. We'll never have to use, their roads, which is terrible. But we do have families who use them. They can become victims too. So for posterity's sake, we are speaking up. And we need the help of some of you, the young people, to understand who you are dealing with. Okay? If you don't understand who you are dealing with, you are just going to be shadow boxing. Some of you said, why don't you come back home and do it? It's part of your stupidity. You dey sleep inside the darkness. You dey enter portal. Your car dey somersault on top road. Police, they shoot you inside bus. They arrest you and pick you up inside house, lock you up and still, You are being robbed and killed, kidnapped. Your farms are being destroyed and the rest of that. You are jobless. You can't take care of yourselves. Many of you can't take care of yourselves. You depend on the stipend that comes from so many people who can come to your aid. Do you actually need somebody to come to Nigeria to now tell you what to do? You do it. If you are waiting for somebody to come back and do it for you, anything. But you may not know. Because if we don't tell you that you may probably never know. If we don't remind you that you probably may never act. You still need somebody to come and show you and say, hey, Kunle, why are you looking like this? I no get job. I have been hungry. Say, okay, then let us go and show them out there that so many people are hungry. I just came back from the UK. Oh yeah, Kunle, let's go. You are mad. Nobody is coming to save you. We keep saying it. And listen, for those who have taken the message, which is so important, and they would spread that. We can feel you because 2-3 years ago, some people are more hostile when they talk about Nigeria and the fraud that many of you are currently trying to hide from. They are always jumping up to defend Nigeria every month. Now, so Bokwari did make us get the message across. Every now and then, everybody is asking, "She Nigeria, you what, Yesha?" Every day, people will say, "Oh, Maiyegun, I don't think this Nigeria is worth it." Now, every day, Nigeria will prove to you that Maiyegun is right. If you don't break it up, you won't be saving lives. And if you love lives, if you actually love life, you should break up Nigeria. And the process of that is for you, the young people. You can decide what your destiny is going to be. You can. They've told you you can't. I'm saying you can. And listen, I remember when Showore was everywhere. And Showore came to, was all over the world and then was meeting with Nigerians and then, and Nigerians in diaspora, they were like, you know what? This nonsense with these old men in Nigeria should stop. But we are surprised that the young people in Nigeria doesn't even look at you. Said they won't look at me. In fact, they will be the one to attack us. Because according to them, we are just like an impossible. They are so in love with their chains. But for the sake of those who probably were dreaming that if you put people together, if you do this, young people will vote for this or that, and they will change their destiny. These guys have no capacity of thinking of changing their destiny. That's what Showore proved to us. You saw that. Now, the ways that laughed and mocked Showore, some of them are dead now, or their relatives and all those who have been caught up. Some of them have lost their job under this current. Some of them have run away from Nigeria, by the way, eventually. Okay? And those who remain, they are still laughing at Omoyele Showore. So you can't really help them if they are not willing to help themselves. You are a Yoruba man. You see this Aboki and all that Almajiri nonsense that usually support Bokwari. I'm not saying all of them now, it's not all of them. I've got friends up north who actually believes that indeed people deserve better than this. And if there is a chance that they have the upper hand or the actual number, they wouldn't mind to join the rest of the South and they're demanding for something quite better, but they don't have the number. We know that. Just like us too in Southern Nigeria, we don't have the number. As we have the foolish morons in Northern Nigeria who supported the death of their fellow brothers and sisters without any consequences for those who are responsible. Yeah, we have other, other bomb morons in Yoruba land, in Igbo land, in every other places who are also mocking the killings of their own brothers and sisters by the country that will eventually kill them. Nigeria is eventually going to kill you. The life expectancy in Nigeria is put at 45 and 50, I think. So if you are a man, you're likely going to die between the age of 45 and 50 in Nigeria. If you're a woman, you're likely going to die between the age of 50 and 55. And you'll be lucky to get to that point with the Nigeria that Buhari and co have brought upon you today. So you are a young person. You want to die like Agbalumo? Sure, you want to die like Agbalumo? No. Then you should stop believing the lies, believing all these things that your co-mates, who we call the Buharidins, the Buhari Dideris, the Buhari Dinotus, the Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Ungoziaris, the Unekaharis, the obedient fools, the sophisticated morons, and the humbled slaves of this world, including their uncles and aunties abroad, the premium Buhari idiots, the Mumumadus, the Bele lecturers, and the Mumu lecturers, including the entire clan of the Sai barbarians, Facebook bandits, and the social media artsmen, as every one of them from all the, from nooks and crannies of everywhere. You don't want to be like them. Trust me. So we know we have them right there in Yoruba land too. But guess what? If you choose never to be deceived by them, because some of them are only being, imagine somebody who have seen what Nigeria has done to our citizens so far. Nigeria, no. And he will go on social media because they gave him 1,000 naira recharge card. 1,000 naira recharge card. How much is £1? That's even less than £2. £1 is 760 or 70 naira. £2 is about how much? 1,600 naira, maybe 1,550. Yeah. So if you give them 1,000 naira recharge card, they will run mad on social media, hungry bollocks. So do not fall for all they are cooking now. They are cooking seriously. Oh boy, they will present Ifnumbu to you. And some of you will begin to say, oh boy, I didn't know, Sha. They will cook up stories, history that doesn't exist. Okay? They will do all manner of things that some of you who are currently saying, never, 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 you begin to say, it's like, actually, I didn't know this about, I didn't know that. Don't fall for it. Those children of perdition, they are training them right now. Recharge card 1,000, recharge card 2,000, recharge card and then they pay them 20,000 naira every month. For those ones who are at the level of collecting money, these are hungry looking young men and women that are the willing tool in the hand of the politicians. And their job is to confuse you. Tell your friends, go back to your school, talk to your friends. Some of you who are, man, it's so unfortunate, man. They've destroyed that place that I don't even know where to start from. Sincerely speaking, I don't know where you're going to start from. There used to be civil society organizations where you have these NGOs and all of them who usually kind of help mount pressure on government. Now they are gone. There used to be the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, right? They are gone. They are part of the system now. Guys are now driving expensive vehicles given to them by government officials. There used to be all these student union governments in schools that once they say Aluta, move, everybody will move from every campus, from all over the place, and wherever they are going to, nobody will stop them. All those are gone. Everybody's down for seller. Everybody wants contract. That's what poverty can do. That's the effect of when they say a country is the poverty capital of the world. That is what it can do. Poverty demoralizes, it blinds you. Your greed sets in. And survivor is the only thing that you see. And the survivor is not even like the survivor. I mean, they're fighting for the survivor of everyone. It's going to be the survivor of the fittest. Gone. For you that took time to watch me today, only you. Because you know what? My spirit is telling me that I am talking to one person, and that person is a young person watching me right now that took his time to listen to me all this while. I have spoken to you. Go on and impact on others. Tell them you need to know and understand the political angle of all of the misfortune and unfortunate things that has befell you and your generation so far. When you understand it, yeah, you will be able to team up with those who are also tired because they understood, but they don't have the number to tackle them. Now, if you make up that number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, one day you can have what you desire. A country that cares for you. A country that treats you like a citizen. A country that treats you like a human being. The one that respects the sanctity of life. The one that respects the sanctity of humanity. The one that should treat you like a human being. I mean, I'll wait for that time, and I hope you will help us make up that number. As we have people from all over the world who feel like gradually they are being detached from their roots back home. And every now and then, these criminals in government makes it even more difficult for so many to make decision of returning home. There are many people who actually want to return home, but every now and then when they look at that, they were like, no, I don't want to risk that. No, I would rather stay. Now, as Nigeria deteriorates, so many people are extending their stay abroad. So you are not the only person being affected with what is going on in Nigeria. But until we see it in some of you, we have already started seeing in many of you, right? But we see more, many of you, we're like never going to make that difference. But I believe we will make that difference. Because as for those abroad, they can easily choose what they want. Because they won't be choosing anything from the angle of deprivation or poverty or whatever. They'll be choosing it, you know, in the atmosphere of clarity. But you took your time to listen to me today. You, my brother, my sister, whoever you are, if this message actually gets to you, take it upon yourself. Talk to somebody too. And hopefully, one day, you are going to tell me about this experience. So thank you very much, everyone, for your time. This is Maiyegun. Having to round up now. I'm going to see you some other time. And I hope we will get to that point where we will indeed see the young people react to the mishandling of their citizenship as part of that country so far, and then they resist to demand for something better. Don't participate in their election. Don't. If you actually, understand Nigeria, you can have it the other way. You just haven't shown them. If you do show it to them, they'll give it to you. Until then, see me for night. Good morning.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gómìnà kówó jẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí fa. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé.